Hey everyone.
Hello.
All right. Yeah. Cool. Let's just get started. Um, so basically, um, just an update on where things are with the release. We cut a release last night for Epoch 2.4, and we still have um, some checks that we're running today. But basically, we'll be imminently kind of reaching out to partners for them to upgrade. And so I think what we're going to do to start the meeting, again, this is a little unusual, like the normal format, is just kind of continue talking through items that need to be done pretty much today for the release. So I'm just going to share my screen. All right. So does anyone have any additional action items that they want to add to this list? Does this look comprehensive? Okay, I'm going to take that as a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
Great. Cool. Are there any other items that we want to discuss this week, or do we want to kind of run this meeting the way we have been running it? I think it makes sense to go through the normal meeting, but open to what people think.
I mean, unless there are any pressing issues to discuss for POX 3, I think we should revert to the previous meeting format.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. Anyone opposed?
I don't really have any opposition, but I'm curious, Pavitra, like, is a question about just meeting, like, where's the question coming from? Like, are there things that you are observing that, you would like to see change? Because I think it feels a little bit abstract, if you just kind of put out.
Oh, sorry. Wait. The clear question is, for the past few weeks, we've actually been kind of skipping this meeting.
I see. Yeah.
Altogether. So I'm like, are we feeling like kind of out of emergency mode and ready to like resume the typical format of the meeting? That's what I'm asking.
I see. I mean, I personally think it makes sense to try and get back into like a calmer state. So
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I was just wondering if anyone was disagreeing. Okay, cool. All right, mainnet check-in.
No issues on mainnet. I am planning on performing the upgrade sometime today after the API is released.
Jivali, do you I haven't checked on the status.stacks.org website. Do you monitor the orphan rates at all? Like, I know Jude used to report orphan rates. Maybe it's just from his dashboard. Just wanted to see kind of.
It's from his dashboard. Yeah. Currently, no.
Okay.
I have a method that I wanted to start looking into before the POX 3 issues happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to add it there. I did look yesterday though. Over the last 1,000 blocks, the longest fork we had was 3 blocks.
Okay.
Cool. Testnet check-in.
No issues with testnet, and the same, once the API is released, I'll be upgrading the API.
Yeah, I think it's just important to highlight that when when testnet nodes update to the official 2.4.000 release, if they've been running the previous like 2.4 builds, they're incompatible, and so there will be a deep reorg. Yeah, Sorrel has just posted the forum note. So yeah, testnet will have a deep reorg at some point, and you'll need to reset chain state and stuff like that if you're running a node.
Okay, I'll read that and see.
Also before you do it, I think maybe just verify with everyone else that all the comms that needed to be done are done. But I don't think that it's finished.
So Jay Wiley, do you think we're ready? The forum is out. I'm posting this on Discord as well. The emails were out yesterday. Is there anything else or anyone else I need to reach out?
I don't think so. I was just reading the forum post. I am going to reply to it with some extra data around how people can use the Hero Archiver to receive their chain state for testnet.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it looks great.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Let's go through PRs and issues now. Okay. All right. Contract calls with traits as parameters are rejected.
This was resolved.
Isn't this, yeah, isn't
Yeah.
this 2.3?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Resolved. Resolved in 2.3.
Yeah.
Works 3 add 70 checks. Bryce, did you get to this?
Yeah, this is basically something that we want to do in the next iteration of POX, but we don't want to include in this one, just to try to minimize changes here.
Sure. Can I add you as the assignee?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, labels. UX. Ship next. Cool. Resolve microblock duplicate public keys.
Oh, yeah, this is, yeah, you mentioned this a while ago. So a lot of miners have this disabled for the time being. We just need to look into it more now that 2.4 is out to see if it's still an issue. But it was recommended that miners turn off microblock mining a while back.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing to do right now. It's just something we need to look into now that 2.4 is released. To see if it is still an issue or not.
Is this an actual bug? Because based on this comment, I'm a little confused. Aaron?
Yeah. I think that this open issue is maybe capturing like a lot of different problems, but
I see. Mhm.
ultimately like microblock mining is like pretty broken.
Okay.
In the minor logic. Like frequently, like if we look at like Heroes testnet miner, it's gotten into a state a couple different times where it basically thinks it should be mining microblocks instead of blocks for like 12 Bitcoin blocks in a row, and that's like wrong. So yeah, there's I think a lot to unpack when it comes to microblock mining right now.
I see. Okay. Should I close this issue just to have one issue that we can all point to?
I wouldn't do that quite yet.
Okay, okay, sure.
Issue like 3620, I think is like actually different.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I'll put it as ship future. Okay. And is there anyone that would want to be the owner? I can own it too. All right. Backslash change starts to fail on 2.3.0.0.0. Okay, this seems like a user.
Oh, yeah, this is resolved. Yeah.
Okay.
They updated after the activation height, and they're all good now.
Oh, right, the corner keys. All right. Who wants to be the assignee for this?
I'll go ahead and take that one. It's fine.
Okay. Oh. All right, add length prefixing to contract names in peg in request. Oh, yeah. Okay, this one already has an assignee, so we can just move on. But maybe I'll give it a label. Change clarity key testing. Right now, the way we test different like clarity versions and epochs, we're using this library called RS test, where we just like create these like templates. But like we kind of have to manually add all the cases, and like we create these templates in multiple different parts of the code. So it actually creates like kind of this inconsistency when we add like new clarity versions or new epochs, where we kind of have to manually check. Yeah, I can do this one.
I sort of started.
Okay, then you do it.
So yeah,
Cool.
can assign me.
Cool. Sure. Cool. Great. Stacks testnet 2.4 deep reorg. Okay, this is just kind of the like a informational thing.
Yeah, kind of informational. We can close it whenever the reorg sort of happens, I guess.
I see. Okay. I'm just gonna
Actually,
can I assign you? Yeah, sorry, you were saying, Jalen.
I was just gonna say, could you add the link to the forum post to this issue?
Yes, I will do that. Aaron, can I assign you as the owner?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. So you want me to add the? Okay, I'll just do that after.
I've got the link in my paste bin right now. I'll just add
Okay,
it.
cool. If you're gonna do that, that's great. Okay. Burn rate in testnet not sustainable.
I left a comment. I don't think it's a bug necessarily. I mean, it's just, Dean is just saying that if there's just 2 miners on the testnet, we should be able to see blocks mined with a relatively low sats per VByte value. And I left a comment that it's really a function of what the Bitcoin testnet miners are doing. And I think if at all anything needs to be done here, my opinion is that we should probably invest in exploring a Signet-based testnet environment. That's probably the more robust kind of solution.
Yeah,
I disagree.
I mean, this isn't an immediate matter, so I'm not familiar with the Signet-based mining, so I'll probably have to look into that or talk to somebody about that.
So what's
Yeah,
the reason for this changing?
I think that's the unknown.
Oh,
Like it started ever since 2.1 was released.
I mean, I would imagine it's probably ordinals and BRC20. Like, there's probably more activity on the Bitcoin testnet as well. That's driving up the stats, the fee rates on the Bitcoin testnet. I try to look at historical graphs. I mean, on mempool.space, if you look at the testnet mempool, it seems like even like 1 sat per VByte should actually be fine. But Dean, if you're saying that 1 sat per VByte, like blocks are not getting accepted, I think we'd either have to look at some logs to see kind of what's going on. Otherwise, I mean, the fee rates don't actually look that bad.
Fee rates in testnet are just like very hard to predict. Bitcoin miners on testnet, obviously just like care so much less about getting an optimum fee rate out of the blocks than they do in mainnet. So it makes it like really hard to predict what miners are actually going to do, which makes fee rate calculations like really hard in testnet. And like there's plenty of Bitcoin testnet miners that like mine empty blocks, which will throw off all of your standard estimators. So yeah, I don't actually think there's like that much we can do to impact this, except like move to Signet or something like that.
Yeah, or run our own testnet miner on Bitcoin.
Exactly.
That always includes our blocks.
Yeah, we could run a testnet miner that always includes our blocks and then also pays testnet Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, that might actually be a good thing, because that solves kind of both the problems of having a continuous supply of testnet BTC.
Right. So that does sort of turn like one problem into like a dozen problems, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine to icebox this for now, unless someone disagrees. And then, yeah, on Hero side, I think, if we do have any capacity, we should probably look into either Signet or running a testnet miner.
Sounds good.
oh, sorry, I was muted. Do we have an owner on this?
I think if it's Icebox, it doesn't need an owner.
Okay, all right, that's a fair thing. All right. I think we finished all the issues. Cool. They all have owners except for the Icebox. Okay, great. Let's now do the pull requests. All right. So the ones that are, oh, we should remove the frozen labels because we froze everything before.
Yes,
The
good
help-
point.
Yeah, the health check endpoint will remain frozen. I can actually get to that now. I'll get to that now. Actually, yeah, I'll unfreeze it then. I'll work on this. All right. And then mempool admission logic is still frozen because it's based on another PR I have later. This one we can unfreeze.
Yes.
Update, yeah, update
I
GitHub
will
CI.
be picking back up starting today.
Awesome. Yeah.
Try to get it in soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get it in soon. Cool.
Just a quick question, mostly guys for Aaron and Bryce. If I wanted to merge this, would it make sense to wait until after the 2.4 activation, just in case?
Merge what?
3199, the CI updates.
No, I mean, I think it's fine to merge whenever. It's just,
All right.
you know, if a release needs to occur and the CI changes sort of impact that, then you know, we'll deal
Yeah,
with
that
it
was
then.
my only fear, but yeah, I'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, Clarity 3, Epoch 22 adds a variadic concat. I guess this is just gonna remain frozen until we pick up work for Clarity 3.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. The fuzz testing VR, what's the update on that? Can I unfreeze it?
We have a superseding version somewhere up the stack that works against the latest branch. I think this one can actually be closed in favor of the
Okay.
newer run.
Okay. Sure. Out of date. Cool. Ability to compile Clarity VM to WASM.
So this is the branch that ClareNet uses. I think Ludo still hasn't had a chance to come back to that, but
right.
it would be nice to get it resolved. I don't know if it should stay frozen or not.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not actively able to work on it, just stay for frozen.
Okay.
Yeah. So all of these stack are frozen, waiting on Jude. So we'll skip those. All right. Here, let's check this one out. Get the burn header hash for the last validated block. All right.
I think this got resolved in 2.1.
Yeah.
One of the recent releases.
Right. Okay. And they didn't respond to my comment, which was like 1 month ago. So I'm going to close it.
Yeah. So I would say, is there an issue related to this?
We can try looking for it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what we should do is close the PR, because like
Mhm.
looking at this PR, like it doesn't actually address the issue. Like it does something else. I don't know. I couldn't really tell what this PR did when I like looked at it. We should say we should close this PR because we think it may have been addressed, but we should continue discussion in the issue.
Okay, so I think I can verify this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Verify it. All right. Add tax specifications. I can unfreeze this and respond to comment. Save and serve block receipts. Okay. So I think last he said he'll split this PR into multiple smaller ones. Then I don't see any commits after that. There's no PRs from this person. Okay. Yeah, what should I do with this one?
I would maybe just ping Best Mike for an update,
Right.
and
Okay.
then we can close it next week if there's not an update.
And let's just add frozen. Rebased. All right, I'll unfreeze this. Yeah, this is the anti-entropy microblock protocol. I mean, given the fact that we have other issues with microblocks, this might be of limited utility, and if people aren't even mining them. But I don't think it would like hurt to have this. And it is ready for review. And yeah. So what do people think? Because we're not running microblocks, do we even want to review this and try and like prioritize, I don't know, getting this into the next release? Or
I mean,
what
if
are
it might
people's thoughts?
improve microblock behavior, then I think we should, and then we can suggest people re-enable. I mean, in my mind, anything we can do to make microblocks and more robust is a net positive.
Okay. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna add reviewers on this.
Yeah, just as a note, I will probably not be able to review this for quite some time.
That's
yeah,
fair.
yeah, because I probably won't look at it before the 2.4 activation, and then I'm going to be out of office for about a week. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, then we can just revisit that then. Alrighty. Docker Compose setup.
Yeah, I was helping him with this.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything in a while. Yeah, nothing to change.
All right. Is this something that we want to merge in, or is this kind of like a local setup?
That is a good question. I think the goal is to merge it in at some point. I don't know what that would look like though.
It would definitely not look like merging 103 commits into master.
Also, I mean, StackerDB is itself like not nowhere near getting merged, right? So this is like downstream of that.
Correct.
So I mean, looks like we should just leave it, either leave it in draft or close it out. We can always restore the branch.
Yeah, I'm in favor of closing it. Yeah, but what do
I would
people
say
think?
let's ask him first to see what his goals are before just closing it.
Right. Oh. Um. Right. Update open API dot yeah. Tiny one line change. We can merge this. Right. Yeah. Super tiny change. Yeah, I'll merge this today. Okay. You know, unprint that too. Oh, okay. They did create a smaller PR. Okay. All right. I can unfreeze this and we can try to review this. For people that have time. All right. DockerDB RPC interface. All right. So I think in general, we probably want to dissuade draft PRs, staying drafts for like an indefinite amount of time. But yeah, with SBTC or with like StackerDB, I'm not really sure what to do. I guess we'll just leave it.
Or does it make sense to just like we just ignore draft PRs? Until,
like when we're going through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So
that's
that
fair.
It doesn't
Yeah,
waste
that's a
anybody
good
else's
idea.
time.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair suggestion. All right. I also think it makes sense to skip SBTC issues. Because they have like separate meetings to go over that.
I agree that it makes sense to skip SBTC issues, but I
Okay.
think that it's also a problem that it makes sense to skip SBTC issues, but that's probably a discussion for another time.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I just like, because like ultimately if these things are going to be merging into the Stacks blockchain, like
Yeah.
We need to be talking about them in the blockchain engineering meeting. But
Very true.
But yeah, it makes sense to skip them right now. So
okay, we can discuss that at another moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Add wallet configuration for Bitcoin Core 24.
I'm a little familiar with this. There was an issue a while back where someone was trying to use a labeled wallet, I think, or a descriptor wallet with Bitcoin 24, and it doesn't work with the current Stacks blockchain or code. So yeah, I know this person, and they were able to fix it themselves. So I invited them to submit this PR.
Cool. I'll add myself reviewer. Anyone else want to review this? It does need another reviewer.
I mean, you can add me,
Okay.
but I'm not that familiar with Rust. So
I mean, I think, Yeah.
it's a small change, but
yeah, it's a tiny
take
change.
a look.
There. All right. Fuzzing branch for Epoch 2.3, run fuzzing and CI. Can you talk a little about the differences between these? Can we close one of them?
You can close them both
Okay.
currently. We're gonna be reworking this to not,
Oh, I see.
yeah, this was made basically to support the 2.3 testing and then the 2.4 testing. And the other one was a proof of concept to get it running as a CI, one of the tests. There's gonna be some follow-up work on that soon to basically get it working in a way that we all feel comfortable with. It doesn't add unnecessary stuff to the Clarity module. And then I'm looking into some other stuff with something called Siderophile, I think it's pronounced, basically to identify new testing targets. And that's coming very soon. Just the 2.4 was and POX3 was obviously a higher priority.
Oh, I didn't close this. What did I do?
And that one above was 2.4 draft can be closed as well.
All right. And we're deciding to skip draft. So we're going to skip that. And then go over this. Add length prefixing. Oh, right. This is issue. Okay. Look, has reviewers already. Yeah, I mean, it looks fine.
Oh, I just opened this this morning. The very small change. I ran into this because I was trying to just do something with logs, and basically the stacks node by default will output all logs to std-er, which means that if you're not like carefully redirecting standard std-er, then you'll kind of So it's a small change, but I wasn't sure if people had strong opinions about this. I thought it was like surprising behavior. So.
I think that standard error was chosen just because standard error is typically where Unix programs send logging information.
Is that true though? I mean, I think like, or at least I haven't. I just found it very surprising behavior.
Well,
I was just trying to pipe the output to some files, and like all the files were empty, and then I realized I had to redirect std-er as well.
Yeah, well, it's usually so you would have like the normal program output to standard out. The thing that's weird about the stack node is there is no normal program output, right? And like most daemons also don't have normal program output, but they usually output to standard error as well. We can switch this, that's fine. But yeah, I think that was the original rationale. But yeah, if you think about like the stacks inspect binary, it has program outputs. And so logging is still enabled there.
I see.
And so they would end up on the same
Got it. For something like Stacks and Inspect, like this would let you kind of separate out those things if you really wanted to.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm finding the way it's not a huge thing that's
Yeah.
blocking me in any way. I would definitely love input from Jay Wiley if you've kind of seen this come up. If it's a non-issue from like a node operator perspective, then
I mean, I agree with you. I have never seen someone try to pipe standard air and standard out differently using the Stacks node though. I like this though. I think it should be the way you're describing.
well, we can continue the discussion on the PR.
Sure.
But yeah, if you have opinions, comment on this PR. Cool. We finished up the issues and PRs. All right, discussion item. Anyone have any discussion item? Okay. We could discuss the thing that was brought up earlier, which is SBTC. Like just like how we want to kind of parse those issues as like a stocks blockchain perspective. Do we want to discuss that now, or do we want to have like a different meeting for that? But what do people think?
Yeah, I think we have time to discuss. And I agree with
Yeah.
Aaron. Huge disconnect right now between both the streams.
Mhm.
Like different teams working on it versus us all focusing on 2.4. I think we need at least 1 or 2 people from the SBTC team to join the blockchain team. Discuss any PRs or updates just to provide a high level update during this call.
Yeah, I mean, just like trying to think through like structurally, like what the current approach is going to lead to. Like if if all this work is happening in SBTC without input from the Stacks blockchain engineering, or like without reviews, and like, yeah, like if there's this disconnect long standing, then the assumption is like at some point there's going to be like a 50,000 line PR on the Stacks blockchain repo, and there is no way that that will be getting approved. Like just like that is an impossible review ask. So yeah, I think that we need to have like a better flow or like communication pattern here. Yeah.
So, do you think an update is enough? Because personally, I don't think that seems enough. Like if one person came and gave us like a 2-minute spiel, I think it makes sense to have potentially some like reviews from people like here on SBTC PRs, instead of keeping like kind of like 2 separate like silos and like kind of cross pollinate that way.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
I think,
so-
I mean, for this discussion really should happen with folks that are also working on SBTC.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. I think I just wanted to get initial thoughts on like what seems like a workable approach. But yeah, I think more reviewers. I think more diversity of reviewers in general across all PRs is like a good kind of thing to aim for. Cool. Any other discussion items? Another thing I'll throw out there is, I think it's worth like creating more of a prioritization order, and this doesn't have today, of like, okay, we have, I don't know, 4 or 5 things we want to work on. We only have bandwidth in terms of number of engineers to like work on 2 at a time, and like, what are those 2 things? Personally, I'm sure if there's like general consensus on that. I think that could be pretty useful. Do people have thoughts? And if not, that's fine. We can just like totally table this and talk about that later. Cool. We'll table it. All right. Any other discussion items? Cool. All right. Well, we'll end this meeting. I'll give you guys 10 minutes back.
Thanks.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye, guys. See ya.